My name's Neil Young. I want to show you my seven-figure simplified training to help me grow my business to over $5 million. I'm a business coach and personal growth mentor. And this process that I used to grow my own business, I'm going to show you how I used it to also help grow my clients' businesses too, to multiple seven figures and even one eight-figure business. So here we go. Why are you here? So if you're watching this presentation, you've either heard about me from somebody in my network, you've either seen my content online and something about that content has resonated with you, or we've already talked and I've asked you to go through this presentation so that you are ready once we speak. And why should you listen to me? So what gives me the right to talk to you and tell you how to grow your business? So let me give you a bit of background about myself. So I spent over 4 years and over $500,000 over those 4 years learning from the best in the business, from Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, Sadhguru, and lots of many other sales and marketing masterminds. So learning from all my mentors helped us grow our structural engineering consultancy to over $5 million a year. Here you can see some pictures from our recent Christmas party where I was giving out some awards to our senior management. And here we did a team building in the desert. So I've got over 35 employees in the business, and we have a management team that runs the day-to-day. We've got a technical and commercial manager. They run the operations. And here again, we're doing some more team buildings. This is us at Dubai Safari Park, doing a team building, doing beach volleyball. And then this is me being able to spend some time with my family during Diwali last year. By having this management team in place and using my process to really grow the business and take a more hands-off approach, I've now got much more time to spend with my young family, with my wife Saki, and my two kids, Jackson and Maya, who are 5 years old and 1 year old. It's also allows me lots of time to follow my passion of endurance sports. So I'm training for an Ironman, I'm doing trail runs, lots of swimming events too. Got a 5 kilometer swimming event coming up this weekend. So it allows me a lot of time to do what I love to do, which is staying healthy and doing sports. And also allows me to spend time on spirituality and consciousness. So I love being out in nature. I went to the Kumbh Mela in India recently, where I bathed in the Ganges. It's very cleansing, lots of energy there. So just love really discovering more about myself and connecting with the world and the universe. But it wasn't always like this. So this is me at a Tony Robbins event in Fiji. I was just starting to get into personal development just after I had had a panic attack. At about 4 years old, I was very sick. I think I was climbing up a tree and I jumped off and my foot got caught on a root or something. There's like a wound there. And I was bedridden for 2 months because I had this infection in my foot. Had some long name. I can't remember exactly what the name was. Something osteoporosis or something. And this infection traveled all the way up my leg, and the doctors were worried it might go to my heart. Luckily, it went back down to my leg. They operated, but I lost tons of weight, and I was really weak. So I was bedridden for a few months. And this kind of created the belief that I couldn't do things for myself. I was so weak and so helpless. I was just bedridden that I couldn't do anything. I needed other people to help me all the time. And so I had zero self-confidence. And in school, I developed these nervous tics, almost like a tourettes syndrome. I was just making these funny sounds all the time. And I got bullied all the time and had zero confidence in myself. And then I found later on I was jumping from job to job, trying to figure out what to do with my life. I was doing jobs that I didn't like. I remember I was working as a quantity surveyor at this construction company. And anybody who knows what a quantity surveyor is, you're measuring quantities into a spreadsheet. So you're basically in front of a PC the whole day, which is not what I like to do. I'm a people person. I have to be around other people. And so I had a panic attack at this job because my body just rejected this environment that I was forcing myself to do. I had this panic attack, got me into personal development. I became obsessed, like literally obsessed with human behavior, core values, the words I'm saying in my head, which helped me develop my system, which is what I'm about to show you. I started listening to as many podcasts and people as I could, just learning from other like-minded people. I had a very addictive personality too, so I've stopped smoking and drugs now for 15 years. I've stopped alcohol for 9 years. I stopped coffee for 6 years. So a lot of addictive behaviors have gone. But after I had this panic attack, I was getting into personal development. I joined my first personal development mastermind in Nashville, Tennessee. This was with 100 other entrepreneurs. We were meeting every week on Zoom, doing goal setting together, learning together, and it really raised my game. Then after that, I thought it was time for something different. Went to my first Tony Robbins event. My wife actually got me into that. She probably regrets getting me into that because I kind of went all out. I did 40 plus Tony Robbins events, paying $85,000 a year to be mentored personally by Tony and follow him around the world. And I had many other mentors too, such as Joe Dispenza, Sadhguru, Holiness Saimar, and many others. So with regards to my business, we found we were kind of stuck at the $300,000 mark. So just couldn't get over that. No matter how hard we tried, different strategies, just was kind of stuck there all the time. And it's just a lack of knowledge, really. When we made this discovery on how to shift from a business operator to a business owner, we did a 2-year business coaching program to make that shift. That's when the real magic happened. So we got up to $5 million a year. We have 35 employees now. And I've developed my own system to show how I personally did that. So I developed my gear incantation system. So it's a vision system. These words I say in my head every second of every day. It's aligned with my chakras. Helps me stay really focused and aligned with who I need to be and where I'm going. So I've helped 12 other business owners grow their own 7- and 8-figure businesses using the system. And then I've used these case studies to really refine my process. And thus my 7-figure simplified process was created. And so now I'm just really enjoying life, just trying to share my process with other people and growing my own coaching business. Our engineering company, that's taken care of. We've got a good management team in there. I'm more of a stakeholder or investor in that business at the moment. So yeah, I've got 2 beautiful children with my amazing wife and life partner, Saki. I've lost tons of weight, trained for the Ironman and triathlons. I have a very low resting heart rate of 36 beats per minute, up at 4 a.m. every day, working, exercising, helping others, just looking to help as many people as I can. And I'll get talking in a second about my ideal client avatar. Who is it that I help? Okay, that's a bit about me. Hopefully that gives you some background on myself. So who are my clients? Who do I help? So I don't just help any person who has a business. Okay, I have a very certain skill set that benefits certain types of people. So I found, just from working with quite a few people so far, that my ideal clients are people who are very extroverted. So these are founders, experts. You could be a yoga teacher, engineer, doctor, coach, whatever expertise you have. I work with people who are very extroverted. So if you've ever done a DISC personality test, that's a high I and D on their DISC profiles. So these are very extroverted people who already have a business. They have no problem chatting to people, getting clients, keeping clients. Lead generation is not really their problem. What their challenge is structure and organization. And so that's where I come in. I help them get structured and organized, help them recruit and build a team, because my clients are starters. They're not finishers. They're very good at getting stuff started, but they're a bit all over the place. Okay? I'm a great finisher. When I start something, it gets finished. No questions asked. So my clients want some more stability in their business. So they can really grow their business without the business tearing them apart. So before my clients came to me, they're avid learners. Okay, so they're really into spirituality, like myself. And they think by adding more, like doing more personal development programs, learning more skills, it's going to solve their problems. When you'll actually find that more skills, more tools, it's not going to solve your problems. You've really got to eliminate lots of stuff. Otherwise, you'll continue to burn out and fall out of love with your business. So what are my clients missing? They really need somebody who can help them identify their chokeholds and what is holding them back. So that's normally where I come in and help improve the organization and structure of their back-end systems. Okay, once I've done that, like I literally come in and I'm literally working as your COO, being part of the operations. Once I come in and get that fixed for you, then I help you first hire a PA if you don't have any team, and then build a team to replace me in your business. Okay. And this is where the magic happens, and you find your business really growing because you've got the structure and you've got a team in place. So you don't have to update your skill set, except you're working with other talented people too. So now I'm going to show you some client testimonials, okay? Because my clients have followed the exact same process I'm about to show you, and hopefully this will make you want to implement my process too. So my first client was me. Okay, I was the first person that I used this process on. It was very early in development then. You can see on the left here, I was a very placid, chubby young man. And now I'm a bit more chiseled and enjoying and experiencing life to its fullest, I feel. My kind of journey, like where I was led by old automatic behavior patterns. I mentioned before that I had a tough childhood, getting bullied all the time, had these nervous tics. So I had these automatic behavior patterns that really made me like a massive people pleaser and just no kind of work ethic, just kind of pleasing people all the time. So my goal was to direct my inner chatter. After I had this panic attack, I was like, I need to get my shit together. So I came up with a system called my gear incantation system, where I have these incantations, affirmations, mantras I say in my head every second of every day. They're aligned with my chakras, and it keeps me very centered internally, so everything I'm attracting externally comes towards me effortlessly. So this is an example of my gear incantation system. You can see the screenshot here. So this is the first thing I help all of my clients do: build out their vision for their life in a very succinct system, and then we memorize these sentences. I've got some short form sentences that we say, align them with each chakra, and you're saying that in your head all the time. So this is one part of my process that helps, okay? As we go through these different client testimonials, I'm going to show you different aspects of my program and process and helped different clients. So with me in particular, it was the gear incantations. And this is why a lot of people come to me, just to learn this, this system here. Next was Rasmus. So Rasmus is probably my most successful client. He had an online gambling business. So he was doing about $25,000 a month when he came to see me. So doing about 300K, 250K a year, similar to me when I first started. And in just 8 months of working with me, he went up to $300,000 in monthly recurring revenue, doing about 3.5, 4 million per year. And actually talked to him a few months ago, and he's actually doubled that. He's doing $6 million a year now. So he's absolutely killing it. Really happy for him. So Rasmus. So what did Rasmus go through? So when he first came to me, he was stagnating and just feeling stuck. Like he's a typical entrepreneur, multiple businesses, and he had his current gambling business at the time. But he was just stuck. He's like, I don't know what to do. I just feel stuck. And he wanted to go to the next level, but he just had no motivation. He'd already got a bit of success, but didn't feel like taking it to the next level. So we really had to reinvent him. Okay, and I did my gear incantation system with him, but then he really loved my color-coded chakra calendar. So once I've done the vision and incantations for people, I then color-code it and put it into a calendar to make sure that you're quite aligned in your day-to-day actions. So your vision is not just a pipe dream, you're actually executing on it. So the calendar really helped Rasmus, and there's other aspects too that helped him get more organized and have more purpose in his day-to-day. Next client I helped was Derek. So Derek had a gas station business. He was quite young when he came to me. I think he's about 24 years old, probably one of my youngest clients. When people come to me in their like mid-30s or 40s. So Derek had this gas station business, and he was doing $50,000 a month when he came to me. And yeah, in just 5 months of working together, he was then doing $200,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue. And I'm going to show you what helped him the most out of my process. I'll come to that in a sec. First, let's talk about Derek and where he was. So he was very young in the game. Like I said, 24 years old. And his goal was to learn from others ahead of him. Like really smart guy, Derek. I wish I was like him when I was 24 years old. I was probably doing lots of other bad habits instead. But yeah, Derek was smart. He wanted to shortcut that kind of learning curve and learn from others like myself who had already gotten the results that he was after. So by just working with me for 1 year, he learned 10 years knowledge literally in 1 year. and just shortcutted that knowledge gap. So his growth was exponential. And this is the part of our process that helped Derek the most. It was my gear metrics dashboard. So once I've done these incantations for you, then create a metrics dashboard for your personal life and your business. So all the different functions of your business, which I'll talk about later in this presentation, we created KPIs metrics for each area, and this really helped Derek get more clarity on the different areas of his business that he needed to work on, like where to move the needle to move things forward. So that was Derek. Next is Brendan. So I'm trying to give you like a different range of clients here that I've helped. So Rasmus had an online gambling business. Derek had a more physical business. And then Brendan, and we'll talk to you now, was a coach online. So doing more one-to-one. I'm trying to give you like a range of different clients here. So Brendan had a online coaching business. He was doing $10,000 a month when he came to me. And then once he left, he's doing $50,000 a month, just after 1 year of working with me. So Brendan's story was that he was doing it all by himself. He's based in rural Canada in the countryside, so he's quite isolated, and he really wanted some like-minded peers around him. We got in touch, he found my community and joined it, and then the rest is history. What Brendan liked the most was my CRM automation system. So I'm very good at creating these systems, and we use a software called Pipedrive. I linked it with WhatsApp. So it's a WhatsApp automation. So everyone he's chatting with in WhatsApp automatically got put into the CRM system. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And all his contacts, his whole network was all in this system. So he had this really organized structure of staying in touch with people. And then we started to build him a team too to help him manage the system so he wasn't getting overwhelmed. So that was Brendan there. So that's some examples of clients I've helped. I was the first client, then Rasmus, then Derek, and then Brendan. So who do I best serve? So the similarities between all of us is that we are all either entrepreneurs, business owners, or CEOs. So I highly recommend that if you're not looking to be a business owner and you're quite happy doing what it is that you do, not to go any further in this presentation because it probably won't make much sense to you. Okay, maybe you'll get some value from it, but if you want to be a business owner like myself, then this presentation will make more sense to you. So before I get onto my process, my 7-figure simplified process, I want to talk to you about the 7 pillars of business I focus on. So these 7 pillars are really important. It's how I categorize every single business I work with, whether it's a online gambling business, B2B, like Rasmus, whether it's a physical business like Derek, or whether it's a service one-to-one B2C business like Brendan. Okay, so these 7 pillars apply for any kind of business. I challenge you to take any business in the world, you can apply these 7 pillars to it. So first I'm going to talk you through these 7 pillars. Once you understand that, then I'll talk you through my 5-step process, which is my 7-figure simplified process. So these are the 7 pillars here. You've got leadership, finance, management, branding. So those 4 are the back end of your business. That's the kind of foundation. And then the front end of your business is delivery, marketing, and sales. So I'm going to talk you through each one of these very quickly, just so you understand what they're about. And then we'll move on to my 7-figure simplified process. So pillar 1, leadership. So leadership is all about having a target. Okay, you can see here, this is the syllabus that we focus on to make sure you've got targets for each part of your business. And this really helped Rasmus. So my client that I helped you before, that I was talking about before, he was lacking that purpose and stagnating. So leadership was where we focused with him. And most of my clients will always start with leadership. What is your target? What are you moving towards? Next was finance. Okay, so finance is all about plugging the gap from where you are to where you want to be. So what do you physically need? Okay, it's not just about money. It's about labor too, any resources that you need. Okay, and what output do you need? What are the physical, tangible things that you need to plug the gap from where you are to where you want to be? Next is management. So management is all about taking disciplined action. You've got to have these processes and systems in place so that you're consistently taking action all the time. Next is pillar 4, which is branding. This is all about taking who you want to attract towards you. Okay, so you need to attract a very specific client avatar towards you. So when we get your branding spot on, you'll be talking to the right people instead of wasting time talking to irrelevant people. I see a lot of people come to me in the beginning and they're just talking to the wrong people and getting disillusioned and don't want to continue their business. You need to get this right. If you're not attracting the right people towards you, you're wasting a lot of time and energy. Next is delivery. So turning your clients into raving fans. So delivery is all about delivering to your clients and just giving them an outstanding customer experience so that they just love working with you. Next is marketing. So marketing is all about finding different locations and channels and really expanding your presence. Well, that's posting on social media, having physical ads out on the street. You just need to put yourself into different locations so that more people know about you. And finally, you've got sales. And sales is very simply just helping people come to a decision so they can move forwards. Sales is all about helping people move forwards. So they can either move forwards with you or without you, but you're always helping them move forwards. So those are my 7 pillars. Okay, all businesses I can categorize into the 7 pillars. I'd say don't blindly follow these 7 pillars. Okay, there's a specific way to implement them. And I really recommend you follow my 5 steps I'm going to talk about next so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And I'm going to do that via my 7-figure simplifier process now. So these are my 5 steps that I work that I work through with all my clients. First, we do an audit. Okay, so the audit, I need to look under the hood and see what's happening. Next, we set a target. Like, what's your dream? What do you dream about? I find people don't dream enough. Like, what are your hopes and dreams? People don't know. We need to get clear on your dream. Like, what really will help you take inspired action? Then next is enhancing. So once you've done the audit, I've looked under the hood, I know where you're at, we've set some target, clarified your dreams, you've got to enhance and bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to be. And that's where my business syllabus comes in. We go through the 7 pillars quite a bit. Then it's strengthen, which is all about getting results. This is where my metrics dashboard comes into place. And then finally, mastery, focusing on what matters, which is relationships, health, and wealth, just the core fundamentals. I'm going to talk you through these 5 steps right now. So step 1, which is the audit. So clients don't usually know what the problem is. They're expecting you to figure out what that is. So I need to do a correct diagnosis before giving a prognosis on what to do next. This is so we can fix the problem and not just the symptom. Okay, very important we get to the root cause and not the symptoms of what is happening. So in order to do the audit, I first do an onboarding. I show you my core methodologies and philosophies and what to expect from working with me. Then we do a personal assessment. So I know a bit about your past, your present and future. And then also a business assessment. I'll do an audit of those 7 pillars that we talked about. Next is setting a target. So again, I said, setting this target is super important. It shouldn't be just like, I have to have this amount of money or this or that. If that's your dream, fine. But you need to be really passionate about this. Something that just gets you out of bed and people don't have to pay you to do it. You just do it because you love doing it. So what is your dream? I can't emphasize this enough. So we have to create a dream so that we're creating some purpose in your life. And then you're able to get out of your head and start taking inspired action. Things get easier. So in terms of setting a target, I do this through my Gear Vision system. This is my own incantation system. I've never seen anything else like this out in the market. I developed this after doing 40 plus Tony Robbins events because I found there's just too much content. I've got one system to clarify your vision, then to make sure it's not just a pipe dream. We put it into your calendar via my chakra calendar, my color-coded chakra calendar. And then finally, I do something called a mind movie, where we attract this vision towards us by watching a mind movie before we go to sleep. So all the pictures, text, and music that we want to manifest, it's streaming into your subconscious. Step 3 is enhance, so bridging that gap from where you are to where you want to be. So a lot of clients don't know what they don't know. It's a bit of a knowledge gap that we need to bridge. And there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Okay, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants. Peter Drucker came up with a lot of business principles back in the 70s. So a lot of his stuff has been regurgitated. So all the content's out there. You don't need to learn anything new. It's all there. And I've collected a lot of it over my journey. So the way to enhance the gap, bridge the gap of knowledge, is through discovery guides. I show you the basic business principles that you need to learn. Then we have some implementation worksheets. So I'll show you how to apply these principles to your business specifically. And then I'm coaching you consistently, not just once a week, okay, but regularly. So I had a client I signed up a few months ago. We did 3 coaching sessions per week for the first 3 weeks until they hit a milestone they were happy with. And now we meet once every 2 weeks. Okay, so it's consistent coaching depending on what you need to make sure no obstacles are holding you back. Next step is strengthening. Okay, so this is why clients pay me. Clients want results. Okay, we'll have a good time coaching together and you're really going to enjoy it, but results is the name of the game. And to ensure that that happens, I have a simple yet bulletproof metric system that gets my clients results, because there's a lot that we're looking at. So you need it all kind of structured and organized in one place. So I do this via my master metrics dashboard. So it's your entire life, not just your business, but your personal goals too, organized in this metric spreadsheet. And then once we've got this sorted, it's a lot to manage. So we need to build you a team. Okay, if you're just by yourself, a PA. You need a PA if you're going to make this business work. You can't do it all by yourself. And then eventually, if your business is bigger, we'll start to develop the org chart and hire more people in. And I'll show you the different automation tools and software that I use to make life easier for all involved, not just for yourself, but for your employees too. You want to make their life easier too. And finally, mastery. Okay, so I find at this point, a lot of clients get overwhelmed. Like, oh, like, why am I doing this? I've got the metrics dashboard, I've got the vision, I've got my calendar, I'm doing all this stuff. Like, is it on the right path? So again, mastery is all about just reminding yourself, what are the fundamentals? Why are we here? What do we need to focus on? It's going back to basics and just focusing on improving the basics all the time. And that's very simply 3 things, which is health, wealth, and relationships. And the way we do mastery is through my CRM system. I call it CRM magic. Okay, I use a software called Pipedrive. With other clients, I've used different softwares. If you prefer those softwares, but I recommend Pipedrive. I set up an automation from your preferred messaging app, whether it's WhatsApp or Facebook, and you link that to the CRM. So all the people you're communicating with, it's all in one place. I'll show you how to categorize it so that it doesn't become overwhelming. Okay, so it's literally the ultimate system to manage all of your relationships in your life. So once we've got relationships sorted, we want to finance. So I'm going to show you how billionaires plan their finances. This is what I learned with Tony Robbins while we were in Sun Valley, Idaho for his annual finance event. And then finally, health and spirituality. So taking care of what matters most. I want to show you how I stay healthy, how to connect more with the universe and all the energy around you. Okay. There's no point having this big vision for your life if you don't have any energy. Energy is key here. So those are my 5 steps, and that's my 7-figure simplified process. I hope you got some value from that. I'd love for you to schedule a time where I can help you build a customized plan for your business. Just let you know, if you do schedule a call with me, on the first call, I never ever sell. It's not going to be a sales pitch. Okay. I just want to find out 2 things. Do we like each other? So does Neil like you? And do you like me? And is my process appropriate for you? Do I genuinely think it's going to help your business? If you're interested in learning more, please, on the page that you're looking at this video, there'll be a link to schedule a call with me, or you can drop me a message, get in touch, and let's talk about next steps moving forward. Thank you.